There we go. Let me know if you can hear me now. Looks like my audio is working now. Oh man, he's fucking releases. Let me see. I'll take my whole shit down. Let me see if I could pull up. See, there we go. We in this bitch. So I assume that you've been keeping track up there of all the releases. Hey. At this point, I'm saying, like, who are you most surprised that has gotten released? Out of everybody that's been released, it's been a lot of big names, a lot of little names. My guy with the clutch. We have, I mean, if we just look at the top people, right? If we just look at, I don't even want to call her top, but she's on the main roster, so we're going to call her top. We have Eva Marie. We have Nia Jax. We have Karrion Kross. We have Keith Lee. We have Scarlett. We have Ember Moon. We got John Morrison's wife. So sorry that I'm calling her that, but I mean, she's what she is. We have B-Fab. We have Mia Yim. And then we have everyone else. Honestly, B-Fab, I feel like we knew that was coming. So I guess my thing right now, at this point, I want to know, like, what this does for NXT. If we look at this and look at all the people that's cut, and as of right now, if it's just these people that are getting cut, no one else. Like, I wonder what that's going to do just for NXT. This could go either way. I mean, not that I have faith in NXT right now. Anyway, because, you know, stopped watching that product once they got all bright and vibrant and ooh, like, that's just whack. And I've seen some of the storylines. It's been kind of whack. I don't like it. So, but that's just me. I'm not a writer. And I don't work for them. But if I did, I'm going to tell you right now, Nia Jax wouldn't be going. Because that's foul. If that don't scream that Charlotte had everything to do with that, then I don't know what does. The fact that Nia Jax got released right after her and Charlotte had that tit for tat. Nope. I think that's fucked up. NXT is going back to what it was supposed to and meant to be. You know, honestly, I hope that NXT goes back to what it used to be. I really do. Like, wholeheartedly. Like, I'm not being funny or anything. Like, I really hope that they go back to what they used to be. Because NXT was a shit. I can't lie. Like, it was the better product. It was the premier product. Like, if you missed a takeover, you missed everything. Like, you didn't miss a takeover. You may have not even watched NXT week to week, but you didn't miss a damn takeover. That's what you didn't do. So, I mean, hopefully we can get back to that, but right now, I don't know. strong words, but it worked. Honestly, I think with Triple H running it the way that he did at that point in time, it worked. Everything about it worked. It did everything it was supposed to do. We got top tier matches. We got true talent development. We saw a lot of dream matches that maybe if it wasn't for NXT, we would have never even seen, like, ever. Along with top tier pay-per-views. We had good title reigns. And you saw the difference from when somebody had a whole run on NXT versus getting called to the main roster. You saw the difference. That's true. I completely, wholeheartedly will 1,000% agree with that. That if Vince did not make you, I don't give a F about you. I'll wholeheartedly go with that because that's true. Like, if he didn't have his hand in the pot, he could give two shits. Which is the main reason why he no longer wants indie wrestlers to come over to NXT. He doesn't want that type of recruitment. He wants to build people again. He wants to go back in a lab. He wants to create geniuses. He wants to be able to go ahead and say, first of all, I made you. You weren't shit if it wasn't for me. You know? He gets his rocks off like that. He has a big ego. Not gonna knock Vince. Credit is due where credit is due. Vince has built some great talent. He has. You know, let's give the old geezer his kudos. You know, let's give him his flowers while he's here. He's built some great talent. And then there's others that, you know, they just fell by the wayside. He tried to do what he could. Realistically, at this point, I would be happy if Paul ran the company. I think Paul is older now. He's wiser. You know, he's not the same ECW guy that we had back then who literally fell under the demise of WWE. He tried. You know, I think he just wasn't... He didn't have enough business skills, maybe, at that time to take ECW to its full potential, because it was great. You know, it was definitely one of the bloodier of the two, you know, if you were into that. But I think at this point, Vince can hang it up. Would he? No, he's not going anywhere. We will see Vince hold on to that position until his dying days. This man could be on the hospice and he would still be having somebody approve or bring him the script so he can rip them up or approve them or like do whatever. Like, I can't, as much as we talk crap about Vince and as much as we say, oh, we can't wait till Vince gets out of here, I can't imagine, to a certain extent, WWE not being ran by Vince. But at the same time, I think he needs to get to the point where start transitioning, you know? Start making that transition. Give somebody else the chance to take it to its full potential. Somebody that obviously is trustworthy, right? Like, you're not going to give it to just like Joe Smo. Don't do that. Like, if you're going to give it to somebody, give it to Steph. Give it to Hunter or Paul. Let them go nuts with it. Except for creating new stars. Ooh, you don't think NXT created new stars? Under Triple H's regime? It helped develop stars that maybe were already stars in indies and maybe helped develop their career in the WWE, as far as creating brand new stars, you might be right on that. Who was the last legit NXT star to legit be on the star of the main roster now? Seth, Roman, Sasha, Charlotte, Big E. Yeah. Yeah. I think Charlotte's probably the only one that technically wasn't even. I mean, she's technically company made. Technically. Seeing as though she had no wants or beings to even be a wrestler. She only did it because, her brother. So she's probably the only one that's like, she's actually, company made. Everybody else up there was in the indies or did something. I mean, Roman was in their developmental side, like before NXT was even NXT, when they were in Florida. I mean, yeah, he is a living legend. We don't give him enough credit. We always talk crap about Vince. We always, talk about how much we want him gone. But realistically, at the end of the day, you're completely right. He's a wholehearted, living legend. I can't imagine a company without him. It would suck. It would. Not enough people give him his kudos. It would suck. Would we possibly get better matches? Who knows? Who knows? We could talk so much shit about, Vince running the company, but who's to say that somebody else gets it and doesn't become like Vince Russo? Who's to say? But I will say that honestly, I want to see a slowdown on wrestlers getting released. That I'm not too fond of. You have 3 hours of airtime for Raw. You mean to tell me that you can't find anything for these people to do? You have multiple episodes of NXT. Remember back in the day on NXT, if you didn't see them one week, you saw them the next week. You saw a constant rotation of people on NXT. You saw almost everyone. So I don't know. I could see that. WWE is kind of big. They do have a crap ton of talent that honestly, do we need all that talent? Probably not. If you're not going to utilize them, let's put it like that. If you're not going to utilize people correctly, if you're not going to give them the airtime, if we're only going to see them barely, if we're going to see them at house shows and shit, it's irrelevant. Why even do that to them? And especially when you see what some of these wrestlers are making. I don't know if you saw the report of when Big E has said when he first started wrestling for WWE. Now, I'm going to take that for what it is. I'm not going to make any other assumptions. He said when he first started wrestling for WWE, this man was making $500 a week. Now, that's assuming that he was brand spanking new. He was still in developmental in NXT. I'm going to safely assume that this was not top tier Big E in NXT making $500 a week. I hope to God not. But then again, we don't know when their contracts start increasing. We don't know any of that. We can only speculate. But boy, I'm gonna tell you right now, $500 a week to put my body on the line like that, that's a slap in the face. That's a slap in the face. I'm sorry. $500 a week, I could go work a regular 9 to 5 for that. That's just, I don't know. If that's how they gonna pay people starting off, then you really need to just focus on the talent you got. Don't even bring any people on. Focus on what you got and let that be it. Stop bringing people in, especially if you're not gonna take the time and really allow them to flourish. Like Eva Marie, you signed her back to get released in 6 months. Has it been 6 months? It's been like 6 months. 6 months. 6 months. This woman was on the main roster. She, for the most part, was what, active every Monday night? Active every Monday night. And she misses like what? One pay-per-view? What was it, one? I haven't been watching. I'd be lying if I tell you I've been watching. She's missed maybe one pay-per-view. And then boom. What sense does that make? I mean, yeah. Correct. That was about 10 years ago. Enzo said the same thing when he first started. That was about 10 years ago. But even Enzo. So now we're going to have to wait like 10 more years to find out what somebody was making in 2021 when they first came in. I don't know. I can't imagine. Like, I don't know what I was thinking as far as how much they were getting paid coming right out the gate. But man, that right there shows that you really gotta love this shit. Like, you really gotta love it. To sit up there and, like, okay, for instance, right? Xavier Woods, who has been on a roster longer than Big E, right? Longer? Yeah, longer. Longer. Yeah, longer. Longer. I'm gonna say longer. I believe longer. So we're gonna look at someone like Xavier Woods, who has possibly been on the main roster longer than Big E. This man has a whole master's degree. Actually, no, he has his PhD. That right there just shows you gotta really love the product. You really gotta love what you're doing to go ahead and give up your PhD, all the money that you could be making with a PhD. Because if I remember correctly, I think his PhD is in education for like English. Like 96% sure on that. But you look at something like that and all the money there, and you literally give up everything. I don't know. Then I look at Keith Lee. My man's got released. Like, that right there, come on now. Like, I knew once, first of all, I knew that this man was going to get released a long time ago, but I didn't want to admit it to my damn self. When they changed his music the first time, they went from that tough ass music from NXT to the bullshit that we got when he hit to the main roster. Then they made him cut off his facial hair. That right there, oh, you made my man's cut off his facial hair. Then you changed his ring gear. Then obviously he got pulled off of TV for a while, but that was because, he said he was sick and whatnot. So, he had to get himself back to 100. Only to come back and now you give him this Bearcat, thing, which I saw where they were trying to go with it, but it's like, why do you keep trying to reinvent the wheel? You already had someone, like, I don't get it. Right. Triple H has been saying that for years. Like, if you don't love the business, then yes, it's absolutely not for you. And I'm going to tell you right now, it absolutely ain't for me, because $500 a week, my guy, like, rather continue my 9 to 5. Like, stupid out his head. No, hold on. Hold on. You did not just say that. Yo, you didn't like my Keefington Lee? Who are you? But hold on, what do you mean? Like you said I'm choosing violence. You damn right you choosing violence because what? But that's the thing because he was like guys his size, right? I think we've gotten so used to seeing guys his size not being agile. Keith was agile. Agile as shit. He could do things. For the longest, it was taboo for a big guy to be in the top rope. Like, that was, we all know that. Like, Triple H will be the first one to tell you. Like, if you're a big guy, stay your ass 2 feet on the ground. You don't need to be up there. That's not for you. But Keith, he was like, I'm a big guy and I'm gonna do this. And was flipping off the fucking top rope. Was doing everything. Like, he was so agile. Like, I really hope the best for him. For him and Mia. You know, I know she's probably distraught. It's so crazy right now. I can't imagine. I just think about his documentary that he did where he was talking about how he worked so hard to be in WWE and how he really went back and he trained and he worked his ass off in the indies and to try to come back and be somebody that they could look at and be like, yes, we want him. We're going to scout him. We're going to take him under our wing. We're going to make him this great wrestler. Like, Keith was in a title picture. Like, legitimately a candidate to be in a title picture. I just think that Vince can't focus on too many big guys at one time. Like, I don't know. I just think it's really shitty. Like, had he been in a faction, he would still be here. I think so, hands down. We've seen it save a lot of people's careers. We've seen it save, in my humble opinion, we've seen it save Xavier Woods. We've seen it save Kofi. We've seen it save Shelton Benjamin. We've seen it save Bobby Lashley. Freaking Cedric. We've seen it save all of them. No relation to the fact that they all happen to be black. I was just literally naming people that is saved and I just realized that they all just happen to be black. No correlation with that. I'm just saying. I mean, yeah, if you look at a lot of those wrestlers, they're dead. Definitely from heart problems. I don't think it's because he was big and flipping. You know, he did a lot. Vader did a lot. Maybe a little bit more than what Keefington Lee was willing to do, but Vader, he did a lot, you know? I agree. Keith should have always been a monster. I think maybe it threw, I think what really threw Vince off with him, that it just wouldn't sit right with Vince, is how Keith spoke. He didn't speak in the manner that Vince would have wanted him to. If you look at how Keith speaks versus anyone else on the roster, he has that certain articulate tone to him that Vince was just not getting behind. That was not his thing. I think if he could have did anything, he probably told him numerous of times, like, stop talking like that. Stop. I think that I think that sealed his fate. If we're gonna look at everything, we're gonna look at everything at Keith Lee. Because what about Keith Lee realistically didn't Vince like? Keith had all the makings of a man that Vince would directly push to the title picture. Directly. Except for the fact of how he spoke on a mic. He could cut a promo. He was big. We know Vince loves his big men. He was agile. He could legitimately wrestle. And I'm disappointed that we never got to see that whole thing come full circle with Keith Lee and Brock. Like, I don't know about anybody else, but that's all I wanted. Like, you know how they talk about long-term storytelling? That's what I was hoping for. With everything, that is the one thing. Once Royal Rumble was over that night, I was just like, I just knew that at some point we were going to get another matchup with Keith and Brock or Keith and Braun. I just knew it. For them to not only release Braun, but then to release Keefington Lee. He needs a mouthpiece. I don't know if I would want to see Keith with a mouthpiece. I liked the fact... Okay, let me not lie. I had a love-hate relationship for the way he spoke. But at the same time, I liked it. It irked me at first because it's like, do you really talk like that? And then you listen to him talking and you realize that he does. Like, everything is an exaggerated pause. Like, it's at least 2 seconds between every single word. I'm not even gonna lie. Like, it was a little annoying at first, but it grew on me. Once I really started to see Keith, like, go and everything, and if you start, like, really listening to his promos and stuff like that, it wasn't bad. So I don't know. I don't know if I would see him with a mouthpiece. I think I could have done without Keith and a mouthpiece. Nope. Ember Moon, I knew that was coming. The fact that it took them this long to release her, that I'm actually shocked about. That she kind of escaped the other ones. And I think the only reason why she escaped those other ones was because she was injured. And even then so, unless they have it where they can't be released while they're injured. I mean, it makes sense, sort of, kind of, I guess, for contract purposes. But Ember, I think that was probably the least shocking. It was like, oh no, Ember. But what have you done? Not her fault. It's not her fault she hasn't done anything. I blame booking, of course, because booking, they didn't know what to do with her anymore. She tried her best. She tried to do everything that she could. She kept getting injured. Unfortunately, she was injury prone. And I mean, shit happens. So I'm not surprised about Ember. I mean, we'll see how long they last at this point. I have stopped giving anybody in WWE hope because it doesn't matter at this point. We could give them all the hope in the world. They can have all the talent in the world, and it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter at this point. I don't know. We have Kyle O'Reilly, where his contract is up next month. I'm surprised that WWE just didn't go ahead and release him as well right now. And just be like, all right, you could go. Hold on. Oops. Carmelo's good. Carmelo, um, I like him. And it's funny, it's like, because I don't watch NXT, but I would see like their matches and stuff on Twitter and get caught up that way. Because, fuck the product right now. Gargano. Yeah, because Gargano's contract is up too soon. Let's see. We have Gargano that's up soon. We have Kyle. We have, what's his name? KO. And if we have KO, I think someone said Sammy's contract is up soon also. Maybe. I'm not sure if that was like legit or if that was just rumored. I know that they were also talking about let them go to AEW. I mean, if if Johnny went to AEW, I wouldn't hate that. I wouldn't hate that because there's a lot of dream matches that could occur that I would not hate at all. I would love that, honestly. I would love to see Johnny Gargano in AEW. I think he would like thrive. Like, I want to see him and Sammy. Like, oh my god, top tier. Top fucking tier. You don't think KO and Sami Zayn should leave? Why? Why wouldn't they leave? Especially KO keeps talking about it. He keeps tweeting about, completing in his Mount Rushmore. I don't know. I mean, it would be great for KO. And honestly, that's why I think we've only been seeing him so much recently on WWE. And by so much, I mean the one episode of Raw that I just so happened to watch on Monday. Like, the fact that KO had a big part in it. Right. I see that. I completely agree. He is about his family. He will provide for them. You think that AEW won't throw enough money at KO? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if I think if they had to throw some money at this man, I think that they will make it rain on him like he's a freaking stripper on the first of the month. Like, just make it filthy on him. I mean, okay, so AEW does have a big roster. However, we now have 3 shows for them. One of which, obviously, he wouldn't be on Dark. Let's just be honest. KO would not be on Dark. We would have him either on Dynamite or Rampage. I think what will start to happen is that eventually, not that there will be a brand split, but remember the fact that we are getting a TBS championship belt for the women. So there is a possibility that they may need some people to go over to TBS if that's going to be the case. So I don't see it being a total bad thing. And I don't think AEW's roster is that big. Realistically, it's not that big. It's not that big. Especially when you take out some of the people that are also on Impact, because that contract allegedly, possibly, may be ending soon anyway. So, like, for someone like Christian Cage, we'll probably get him back on AEW full time. Oh, not the Comedy Channel. I mean, it's going to change some things. I think it's definitely going to change some things. I wouldn't mind I wouldn't mind seeing it. I think I think because of the fact that they do have a good amount of talent. You see a lot of people on Dark Elevation. Those people obviously are people that's trying to build up their name. That is a part of the main roster, and then there's people that are possibly doing like auditions and local talent. That's what I love about Dark Elevation is you see that beautiful mix, and you see like really good talent up there. You know, some people that like it's not like a complete like it might be a squash match, right? Like obviously it might be a squash match, but it is gonna be good. You know, like you know that okay. You know, Nyla Rose is up there. She's fighting, you know, a jobber, but it's gonna be good. That jobber gonna give it to her, you know, to the point that you on the edge of your seat, like, she might lose this. I don't know. Like, I like that aspect of it, but yeah, I forgot. You can't stand it. You need to watch it. I'm telling you, watch it. Open your mind, you know, get that different angle. You never know. But speaking of angle and opening minds, so AEW is doing what I knew what would happen. And obviously they're setting up for Full Gear. And I'm actually going to be on a show with somebody coming up discussing this. But I'll say it here first because, you know, whatever. So remember how it was rumored that Ric Flair was going to go to AEW? And then all that shit came out. And then when all came out, it was like, oh, well, they're going to push that back. Sure enough, they did, because it is rumored that Nature Boy will be at Full Gear on the 13th. So it looks like we're going to go back to having him as the manager for Andrade. So this should be interesting. I know. I promise you, I'm going to like slowly but surely pull you back in. Oh God. No, please God, no, not. I don't want to see Flair versus Sting. Ugh. First of all, Sting at this point would slaughter Flair because Sting has proven, and you know, people don't give him credit, and it's effed up because Sting has proven that he could be completely geriatric and he could still go. Like, he could still hold his own in the ring. And it's not horrible to watch. You know, it's not like when we're watching a Goldberg match, you know. It's like we're watching Goldberg and we're like, you're clearly just here for a check, buddy. You should stop. Maybe. You know, that's a Goldberg match. But Sting, it's like, oh, okay. Old Stinger still got it. Look at him go. I don't want to see him kill Ric Flair. Ric Flair don't got it. Ric Flair barely even has it on a mic. You know, he lost it a long time ago on a mic. So let's not have that happen. We don't want that. We want positive things in a ring. Oh, did they? Did AEW want Goldberg ever? To do what? I think that, oh my God, if AEW would have gotten Goldberg, I don't think that they would be where they are right now. Now, the reason why I say that is because they would not be able to live down being called WCW. Yeah. Okay, Edge, I wouldn't be mad at. I can do Edge, you know, because I love Edge. Rated R superstar. Total fan, you know. Love the guy. Batista, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what would have come with that. That I have my hands in the air for, because what could, I don't know. Batista's last stint wasn't. But then again, that's nobody's fault but, you know, booking. I can't blame him. Ugh. I don't know. I don't know if I would have done Batista. I think they were just going after big guys after that point. I mean, except for Edge. Edge, I think he did right. He did right by going back to WWE. It's not a bad thing that he went back to WWE. Even if, which, and I was thinking about this earlier while I was watching AEW, because, you know, I missed it yesterday, so I watched it today. But I was sitting there looking, and as I'm watching Christian Cage on my screen, and I'm thinking, I'm like, what if? I mean, Edge only signed a contract for 3 years. Why not? Why not finish, you know, do another 2 years at AEW? Or whatever the remaining contract that Christian has at AEW. Why not? I could see that. I could see him ending there. The same way I could see, if we got lucky, AJ Styles ending at AEW. I hate to say ending like that. Like, but I kind of want to see, you know, I want to see these people back where they used to be. Well, not used to be. That's weird. Back somewhere, or just not back, but just somewhere where they haven't been before, you know? Like, I wouldn't mind seeing AJ at AEW. I think we would get the old AJ Styles back, you know? Ooh. Okay. I'm not sure about Edge and Christian versus the Hardys again, especially because you haven't watched. Have you seen Matt Hardy in a ring lately? Hmm? Hmm? Mm-mm. Matt Hardy is nowhere near what he was prime Impact. I'm not even going to even just say 10 years ago. I'm going to just say prime Impact. He is very stiff in a ring. He's very robotic. It's like somebody forgot to pour oil on a Tin Man before he got in a ring. Like when he was in that, what was it, Casino Royale match a few weeks ago. It was like, ooh. Like as you're looking at all the people up there, and at first you're excited because, you know, it's essentially like a ladders match, right? And you're like, ooh, Matt Hardy, this is his element. He should do good. But then you realize it's current Matt Hardy. And then you're like, oh, you're the filler in the group. Oh, like, you know, when they're booking matches and you know who's going to win. And then there was just random other people that was just thrown in there and just like for shits and giggles. And you're just like, That was Matt Hardy in that match. Wholeheartedly. It was Matt Hardy. I never thought I would live to see the day where Matt Hardy was that person. Even in his oldest age. Never thought. Never thought. Him and his brother right now. I mean, the sad thing is Jeff could still move. He could still do things. He's just not being booked properly. AJ's a one exception for Vince. What you mean? What you mean he's a one exception for Vince? Oh, yes, where his head bounced off the concrete. And he almost died. Yep. Remember that. Yep. Just remember that when we discuss Matt Hardy. And just think about the fact that that's like all his matches right now. Facts. No fucking need Matt Hardy, y'all. It's my best friend just texted me. That shit was scary though. I thought Matt Hardy was gonna die. Cause I swear to God, I thought his soul left his body. See, that's why I'm not going to a pay per view with you. That's especially not at AEW. We're not going together. We are not going together. Because I promise you, you ain't about to sit up there trying to ruin it for me. I'll kick your ass right there in the fucking stands. I promise you. You're not about to do that. You not about to do that. When I went to the AEW show, my very first one, it was good. It was good. It was still new at the time. They were only, 2 months in? So they were brand spanking new. But nah, we go now and you try to talk some smack kicking ass. Well, yeah. AJ makes buku money, but not now. I mean, he makes money now, but he's not a needle mover right now in the way that he's being booked. Like, I get that his job right now is possibly just to put over other talent. I get that. Maybe that's what he signed up for. Whatever. Okay, see, what you not gonna do is you're not gonna disrespect the super kicks, okay? Okay? Because nobody was batting a fucking eye when everybody was fucking suicide diving all over the fucking world in WWE for like 2 years straight. Every single match, there was a suicide dive. Every single match. Like every single match. Like, no, we're not gonna do that. We ain't gonna do this. I'd rather see a super kick than see the same suicide dive, then watching somebody get tangled in a rope. Like, come on out, because you had no business doing that. And then it's always like 20 million people standing on the outside of the ring just watching it happen. Like, baby, I wish somebody would. Like, if I'm legitimately in a fight with somebody, okay, and I see them run back and then start running towards me, I'm not going to stand there like, oh shit, you jumped on me. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. I don't like it. Like, once in a blue moon, okay. I just need for some of the, moves to be like a little bit more done properly, in the right circumstances. Right. See, now, yes. I do see where you're going with that. Where I remember when super kicks were a finisher. Where certain moves were a finisher. Now that they're just being utilized all willy-nilly, it kind of sucks because it takes away the power, the glory to it. But it's not just a super kick that has happened with. It's so many other moves that has happened with. Like, even submissions, It used to be a time where if you hit your submission move, that was it. That was it. You knew for a fact that person wasn't getting out of it. Like, look at whenever Randy's about to start setting up for the RKO. You know exactly when he's not going to fully hit it. Because it's almost like you see it in his movement. Like, as soon as he goes up, like, he slows down a little bit, he goes like that, and then they reverse it. Like, come on, back in the day, it wasn't no reversing it. You wasn't about to sit up here and reverse someone's finisher unless you were somebody like Undertaker. Like, you wasn't about to sit up here and reverse a finisher. That wasn't it. And the fact that it happens damn near every single match, almost all the time, like, if that's the case, like, just don't have them do their finisher at all throughout the match until the very end. Like, I would rather see it at the very end, and if it gets reversed, let it be because the other person is about to win. Don't have them. There's so many things that I don't like. That's just like when, and I specifically see this with the women, I don't know why they have the women always do this. But if I pin Zelina Vega and she kicks out after the first one, I'm not going to immediately then pin her again, praying to God that at some point in time, from the first pin to the very next pin, which I did nothing else in between, that she's just going to magically say, go ahead, girl. You deserve the win. Bitch. Like, I hate that. And they do it 2 to 3 times in a row. If it didn't work the first time, it's not going to work the second or the third. I hate it. And it predominantly is done with the women. I don't know why it's specifically done with the women. But that shit irritates me. That just... Between that and suicide dives. It just really fucking grinds my gears, man. Really fucking grinds my gears. My bad. I hope that tomorrow there's no more releases. I know it was rumored that allegedly tomorrow there's supposed to be more releases. I really hope not. At the end of the day, this is people's livelihood. You know, this is how people feed their family. If they don't have a family, how they feed themselves. No one wants to see somebody lose their job. Realistically. No one wants to see that. I would definitely say, you know, just with everything, with everyone that has been released, I will still say that the most surprised that the most shocked that I am is with Nia Jax. Never saw that coming. Even with her beef with Charlotte. But it makes me wonder what is going on in a locker room, like right now. When they come to work tomorrow, you know, how's that going to feel? When they go to work on Monday, how's that going to feel now being in the locker room? Like, if Charlotte was legitimately the reason why this woman got released, like, how are the other women talent going to look at her, you know? Are they going to feel safe and secure? Like, I know they were talking about allegedly for if these people do get released tomorrow, some of the names that I did see was Dana Brooke. Let me pull the list back up actually. Which such a bittersweet thing because I'm in one instance, you know, you kind of hope that somebody does because you want better for them, but at the same time you don't. No one wants to see somebody get fired. Oh, yeah, of course. Of course. That's exactly what she's doing. Wait, why is Mickie James trending? Like right now? Oh. Okay. Whew. I'm like, why would she be trending? Listen, we'll go to AEW if you behave. You pick the show. You let me know. We'll go. But you better behave. Because the minute that you start talking reckless, we fighting. I'm talking like John Moxley. We in that bitch. We fighting. Oh, that's messed up. Somebody said, ain't no way that Tamina ain't get fired. Either she got popping hot tea on somebody, or she piping somebody. Oh, they said that about Leah too. Dang. Oh, that's not funny. I'm actually kind of surprised on that. I'm trying to see if I can find this list of... Oh, here we go. So these are rumored to be listed tomorrow. Don't know how true it is. I'm actually surprised too that it took him this long to get into rehab. But nonetheless, I am very proud of him for actually going to rehab. And yes, Tamina Tamina is still there. She is still there. Um for tomorrow's alleged releases, we have, and this is alleged, this may not be true, but it's rumored. We have Drake Maverick. They released him and hired him back. Look, I told you I haven't watched in a long time. So if he got hired back since the last time he got released, that'd be fucked. Dana Brooke, Jackson Riker. I mean, we all know why people want him fired. Would WWE really fire him? Maybe, maybe not. Drew Gulak, Tegan Knox, Shane Thorne. Oh, he's such a cutie. Kind of hope he doesn't get released. Timothy Thatcher, Danny Burch, Kaden Carter. Ooh. I mean, I hope. But then again, if you think about it in the past, whenever they've done releases, right? They've always done releases on Wednesdays. And it's always like a 2-day thing. So if it's Wednesday, then it may, no, actually when it's been Wednesdays in the past, and I might be wrong, but I feel like I'm right, it's been that one day. But whenever it's been Thursday and Friday, and it's like hours before SmackDown, and it's like, ooh, like that person literally had a match tonight and now they're fired. No, like, so I don't know. I know you don't know who any of those people are. You're terrible. You're terrible. Wait, you know who the fuck Dana Brooke is. Don't play with me. Don't even start that shit. I hope Thatcher doesn't get gone. Yo. Honestly, at this point, you have to look at it like this. Where does he fit in with the new NXT? Yeah. Where does he fit in with the new NXT? If you look at where NXT is right now, NXT 2.0, where does he fit in? Does he fit in? He fits in with the old NXT. I don't see him fitting in with the new NXT. That's because, they got all colorful, and then they got Mandy Rose and gave her that dark ass tan. We're not even about to discuss that. We just gonna move past that. I'm gonna choose not to bring that up any further on my channel. We're just gonna move past that. There's so much talent that they have on all these shows, and people just get the barest at the minimum. Like, where the hell is Toni Storm? Where's she at? Are they doing anything with her? Barely. Nothing. Like, it's stuff like that that makes you wonder. Like, you got a whole women's division that you ain't doing nothing with, that you rather just push literally like 4 different women and only push them against each other. That's it. I mean, You know how it goes. Right now, what they need is they don't need title pushes. They don't need that many title pushes. Realistically, as much as I may not be a Roman fan, I don't hate the fact that he's had the belt for this long. You know, I don't hate it, especially because he's been active with it. I do like long title reigns per se. Um, but at the same time, if we just create more storylines, things could be a lot better. Not everybody has to go for a title. And we can take titles that we already have and make them great again. We can take the 24/7 title and make that a serious title because Lord knows it needs it. Stop having it as a joke title and as a jobber title and give it true meaning. Like, give someone that title that's going to take it places. You know, give it to somebody like give it to Shelton Benjamin, you know? Someone who's not really, I don't want to say he's not doing nothing, but he ain't doing nothing. Career-wise, what is he really doing besides being in a hurt business? But that would be the perfect person to give it to. No one saw Bobby Lashley doing what he was able to do with the title. Everybody knew he could, but we didn't think that Vince had enough faith in him to do it. So why not do the same thing for Bobby Lashley, Shelton Benjamin? You have so much talent that you can develop without having to hire new people. Like, focus on the talent that you have. Build on that. Give them additional storylines. Not everything has to be for a title. But build the storylines. Make us, like, believe again. Honestly, like, we all know kayfabe is dead. We know it. It sucks. The internet happened. We have to go with the times. But what you can do is bring back some mystery. You know, the most mystery that we've had in a long time was technically, I mean, realistically speaking, wasn't, but it kind of was Roman versus Brock and Saudi. You know, there was that big chance, like, but it's Brock. Roman can lose it. It could happen because it was Brock. But realistically, if you're anything like me, then you would be thinking of the longer period of time, and you're like, but we're on a road to WrestleMania soon, so Roman's kind of main eventing at some point. Remember, it's 2 nights, so he's definitely going to be main eventing at some point. We got to get to WrestleMania, right? So I didn't see Roman necessarily losing the title that particular night. But there was a strong, what if, you know? Oh, I love Lumberjack Brock for more reasons than one. But I'm loving the new Brock. The new version of Brock. First of all, I knew when Brock had his facial hair that he meant business. Because we only see serious business Brock. Not that he's not always serious, but it's something about Brock with his facial hair versus without. Just saying. It is a whole different beast. My best friend texted me talking about he know that I want to see Sasha fired. That's not necessarily 100% true. I don't necessarily want to see Sasha Banks fired. I just don't want to see her on my TV screen anymore, so I just choose not to watch. See what I did there? He's calling my bullshit. Anywho, you're right. I don't think that Vince cares enough about the women's division. And realistically, in my group chat that I'm in, when the releases first started earlier, and I saw that Scarlett got released, and then I saw that Morrison's wife got released, I was like, because somebody had said, oh, it's something about when you get engaged, like that's probably like the curse in WWE, and it's like, it's because you're a blonde and now, or you were a blonde or whatever, you're just an attractive female, and now you're taking the cookie off the table for Vince, and he's like, what? I can't have her, and that's it. You're fired. Like, what? So yeah, he doesn't. I don't think he cares too much about the women's division. At this point, they're eye candy. That's all. And I hate the fact. So like my best friend used to call it like bathroom breaks, and it used to grind my gears because it's like, oh, what? And at that time, it was like legitimately good. Nah, that's what it's coming back to. It's coming back to that. Shelton doesn't need anything else. I mean, he could get something a little current, just for shits and giggles. I think Shelton is really slept on. So I think he needs to remind people, just who the hell he is. And yes, the dirt sheets, the dirt sheets is what killed kayfabe and the internet. But combined, those two. I still remember watching the video packages and stuff for Chris Jericho coming on, and when we didn't know it was Chris Jericho, and it's like, ooh, who can that be? We keep seeing this countdown. Who could it be? And then eventually, boom, here comes like Chris Jericho. Like that type of pop. That's hard to get nowadays. That is hard to get. Like, only few people have gotten that form of a pop genuinely since that has happened. And I could say genuinely was the Hardys when they initially came back. Just because no one probably saw that coming. I would say probably AJ Styles, and I would say CM Punk's most recent comeback. Right. Sneaks. Make the 24/7 title something of worth. Exactly. Give it a good storyline. Give it to someone who can really like with it, Someone who's good on the mic. It could have been Keith Lee. They fucking released him. The Connecticut Jackhammer. I do too. I wish that they would utilize Shelton and Cedric better. I think the worst thing that they could have done was dismantle the Hurt Business while they were like piping hot. Like, I think that was probably the most stupid thing that they could have done. Like, of all things that could have been done. I mean, yeah, I was surprised that they popped up too. They pop up just to get their ass kicked. Why even pop up? I didn't understand that. Okay, yes, I you're right. Brock's pop in 2012. Yes, you're completely right. That did slip my mind for like 2.5 seconds. I think realistically, almost any time Brock pops up after being gone for a while is such a huge pop. But that one in particular, that one specifically, yes, wholeheartedly, yes, everything about it, yes, hands down. I don't know. I really hope that no one else. It sucks because, like I said, I do and I don't. I hope they get released for better reasons. You know, like I hope that they get released and they're onward and upward. But I hope it's somebody that like they can handle a release. Like if they got released, it wouldn't hurt their pockets, you know? Uh, a triple threat with Bobby and Big E. I mean, we could say that, but then you have the New Day. I think it's just that if he's not fully behind it, it's not going anywhere. I think the New Day he only got behind once they started generating buku money. And then he was like, I like y'all. I'll keep y'all. And he kept them for as long as he could. That's why even now, technically, they're not dismantled. I almost called him Keith. Big E's doing his solo thing. But every chance they get, they bringing him right back. You know, they still use Big E's voice on a New Day's entrance. They still wear matching ring gear. It's almost like they never broke apart. It's like a really bad toxic relationship where you know they just shouldn't be together, but here they are skipping the fucking hallway with each other. Someone put it out in misery. Yo, facts. Facts. I think it was a shit gimmick. And, you know, everybody knows how I feel about the New Day. Everybody knows that I feel as though that none of them, except for Big E, would have a career if it wasn't for the New Day right now at this point. I think Big E would have still had a career. It just would have taken him a while. Maybe he wouldn't be as big as he is now. Only because of the fact that if you look at his whole career point prior to the New Day. So if you look at him from NXT to then being called up to the main roster and being like a valet for, almost like a valet for Dolph, right? Or being his muscle, whatever you want to look at it, whatever you want to call it. If you look at that, I think that Big E would still have a career. I just don't think that he would be anywhere near what he is today. If I had to compare him with anybody on the roster, what his career would probably be if it wasn't for the New Day, maybe Cedric. Maybe. Like, you know, he's talented, but they're not doing anything with him. I think that's what we would have got with Big E if it wasn't for New Day. As far as Kofi and as far as Xavier, they would have been gone. Freaking gone. I would have found a way for them to be gone. I'd have drove my ass up to Connecticut, like, get rid of them. Now, you don't know me, but get rid of them. They ain't doing nothing. Get rid of them. They out of here. Apollo Crews. They ain't... Okay, maybe Apollo Crews. Okay. I'm really thinking about that. Like, I have to take a moment to, like, really think. Like, damn, Apollo Crews, though. Damn, that's fucked up. Apollo, he trying. Yeah, it sucks because he's so good. It so sucks because Apollo was good. But he another one. He don't get half of anything that he deserves. The way that they booked him in reverse Kofi manner is appalling. Like, and I don't think it's talked about enough. Like, the fact that we all as a wrestling community just took this on the cheek like this shit ain't happen. Like, the fact that we sat here and we watched Apollo Crews for years talk, and then all of a sudden he comes back and my man's has this Nigerian accent. And we just supposed to believe that everything about it. Like, why y'all do that to him? Right. They changed this man's finisher. Like, then they gave him a bodyguard, and it's Apollo Crews was doing so well. He was doing so well. And then they played him. They did my man dirty. They had to do that to him. They could have just let him go for all that. They should have never did that to that man. But you know, it's alright. Because guess what he's doing? Collecting a check. Hopefully it's not a $500 a week check. Yo, it is so much slander right now. I can't. You know, I really do wish the best for him. It sucks. And, you know, it's sad when you look at these people because you want to know what they're thinking. Like, when they're looking at the script, when they're looking at what they're being told by creative, when they're sitting down in a locker room, when they're leaving the show, when they're leaving the arena, when they're at home with their family, and they're thinking about where they are right now in this point today in their career. Like, I'm pretty sure when there was a tweet, you know, at like 8 o'clock this morning saying that, hey, there's going to be releases today. Like, I know that there are some people in that locker room that was sitting there like, you know, obviously they weren't in the locker room, but, you know, like they're sitting at home or wherever in the hotels on the road and they're like, should I go back home? Like, I would hate to be that person on a roster. Like, to know that my character sucks that bad that I could be potentially released. Like, that sucks. That really does. Let that chick be fat. She gone. Poof. Poof. You could blame Top Dollar for that. That's all his fault. I don't care what nobody say. All that cockiness, look what it did. Got her ass released. And he's like, oh, my queen. But, you know, I do wish her the best. You never know what could come from it. Maybe she'll go to the Indies and tear it up. And be the best version of herself that she could ever be. Maybe we'll see her on AEW Dark. Who knows? Nah, they just need to take Dominic back to what he used to be. Oh my god, I almost choked. Damn, because you hurt my soul in that. They need to take Dominic back to what he used to be. Like, If you never saw, like, I don't know if you watch NXT UK. I am a hardcore advocate for NXT UK. Mainly because I'm a hardcore advocate for whenever we get pro wrestling, like real pro wrestling, right? Like NXT UK is pro wrestling. You know, Vince, how much he hates the word wrestling, you know, sports entertainment. Everything else, all his other shows, yes, sports entertainment. NXT UK is nothing but pure talent. Pure pro wrestling. I've been following them since day one. Since they first started with when they had the tournaments and stuff. Okay, right. Right. So okay, so you've been watching, you know. That right there, following his past, seeing his match with Walter, like Dominic is amazing. When he got called up, I was like, ooh. Because I knew what happens. Like, I knew what they were gonna do to him. It's the typical shit. And they did it. I would be okay if they just put him back to being just Dominic, you know? Like, let's just act like that shit never happened. The same way that Ali's acting like that never happened. We need to act the same way about all of them. I mean, well, Mia Yim is gone. But, you know, everybody else, they can just, it never happened. It never happened. There was never a hacker. You know, there was never a T-Bar. Who's that? Who's that? We don't know that person. He was on a roster. I've never seen him before. Was he a jobber? We can go with that because this ain't it. This ain't it. NXT UK was like elite for talent. That's when I fell in love with Tyler Bate. I fell in love with they did the same voice change with Reggie. What? Well, it shows you how much I've been watching because I don't even want to know. The fact that they changed his voice, I don't want to know. Word, when Pete Dunne, oh my god, like I actually have a picture of him that now I'm like, where the hell is it? Oh, I'm actually concerned. Where the hell is my picture? I have a signed picture of Pete Dunne. Okay, I'm a little nervous now. I'll have it on display on Saturday when I'm live again. I'll put it right there. Now I'm like wholeheartedly concerned right now. Because now I'm like, yo, where's my picture of that? And then where's my picture of Cody Rhodes that's also autographed? Look. I'll look for that Friday night. But yes, Pete Dunne, freaking amazing. Freaking amazing. And then they just did whatever with him. Ugh. Don't even get me started. I miss Pete Dunne. I miss the Bruiserweight. I miss all of that. Like I was saying before, you look at Toni Storm. Even Rhea Ripley. You got her walking around with Nikki Cross for the tag team titles? For what? For what? Like, I'm not even going to get into that because that's a whole other topic for a different day. And that shit really sets me off. So we're just gonna but it is getting late. And I don't know about y'all, but Shorty gotta get up early in the morning. Shorty gotta work. Oh yes, I miss Mustache Mountain. Aww. But yes, it has been real. I want to thank y'all for riding with me tonight. I will be back Saturday afternoon at noon. I will also be available on a different channel on Sunday. I will release that information as soon as I get it to y'all. Is it Sunday? It's Sunday. I think it's Sunday. I'll release that information once I get it to y'all. And then, we'll be celebrating my birthday together because a chick is a Scorpio. And, we're going to have to ride out. So, I do accept birthday gifts. My birthday is the 14th. And I will see you guys on Saturday. Have a great night. I love you all. Thanks for chilling with me.